The athletics across this campus have been quite impressive over the last 2 weeks. From overtime wins, new winning streaks, and our very own being drafted to the big leagues, your Sunbirds are making history right here in Fresno, California. We'll be bringing you the exciting preview for baseball season along with the details about Paul Islas and how he got to the MLS. All that and more is coming up right now on Inside Fresno Pacific Athletics. Glad you could join us for this week's episode of Inside Fresno Pacific Athletics. I'm your host, Katie Rocca. The Sunbird baseball team has been practicing all year gearing up for their season. Here's your first look at everything that's in store as the men are ready to hit off a great season.
Well, we'll always miss the seniors when we lose them when they graduate and move on.
I mean, the group of guys we had were seniors, so a lot of leadership in that team. And that helped me as long as other freshmen are on the team. So I think that's what kind of motivated me to do better.
The year before, we recruited almost all freshmen. And then this year, I believe my numbers are right, we have 22 new guys. So we're brand new, not just NCAA, but our roster has almost a complete turnover from 2 years ago.
Division II is just a big step for us, more attention to the team. So we're just trying to win and then show that we got what it takes to be in this league.
As far as this year's team, I really like them. We've got some leaders. Like I said, a year ago we recruited mostly freshmen, but this year we recruited quite a mix. So it's not starting from complete scratch as far as experience goes with this year's recruiting class. We have some really good players, some really good transfers, really good freshmen as well. And I liked how the team is coming together.
I think we're going to be pretty good. We're pretty deep. I didn't know how good we were going to be. We got a lot of pitchers. Ryan Custodio, he's back from last year. He was hurt. And then Mitchell Scott from Reedley. So our starting rotation is going to be pretty good. And then we got some guys in the bullpen that can hold it down. So that pitching is going to win everything. And then Brett Bishop coming in was big for us. And we got Moon, the shortstop. So we're going to be pretty good. We're ready to go.
Brett Bishop is just as solid as they come. I recruited him to be a second short, third baseman type guy, and he had versatility. But it looks like he'll be our catcher this year. I mean, he's that good.
Didn't plan on fitting in at catcher. I came in as a shortstop, second baseman, third baseman basically. I can play anywhere though, and it just ended up happening that coach decided to throw me back there for a Sunbird Series game, and he liked how I did back there. And I said, hey, I'm willing to if you need me to. So that's kind of how it developed. And so basically I've pretty much started catching just since we got back from fall break.
He's such a good athlete and with a good arm. It's been an easy adjustment for him. Just the biggest thing is going to be game calling, but he's already made jumps on that. I've thrown to him the last 2 weeks, and he's already ready for games.
Defensively, there's always room for improvement, but I definitely feel like I've got the rust off since not doing it for a while. But I have caught my entire life since I was little, so it's like ride a bike a little bit. You just gotta work at it.
JD Sales is going to be a good transfer for us with his leadership and experiences, and he knows how to pitch.
I went to Fresno State out of high school. That's why I always wanted to go there because of my dad played there and stuff, and it was just my dream to play there, and it didn't work out. I guess it just wasn't for me, and ended up coming here. Heard a lot of good things about some guys who came here after going to a D1 and just transfers like that, and Coach Hirschkorn's been great about the whole process, and just kind of feel like I belong here instead. So my dad actually played for Coach Rupschitz at Fresno State, so that's kind of cool that he's here now and that all worked out that way.
Josh Modelis was phenomenal for us as a freshman last year, and so really looking for him to make another jump, and he's just so talented, and he's gotten himself in better shape, so I'm looking forward to see what that all equals this year. And a guy that jumps to mind right now is Ryan Cheek. He came out of the pen last year, and right now that's what it looks like he'll do, but he's a completely different pitcher. He's having fun with the game. He's not making it so mechanical that it's not about the game, and he's talented. And now that he's allowing himself to play the game, I mean, he's been unbelievable in our fall and January. So I'm really excited to see what he looks like coming in this year. One of my frustrations with a year ago, we just couldn't create offense. We were limited as far as speed goes, and that was one of the things that I wanted adjusted with this year's roster. It's going to make available a lot more offense in things that we were limited with last year.
I think we're going to have a good, solid lineup. I think we're going to have a deep lineup, meaning guys can be in and out. We're not going to typically have the same lineup every single game, at least for the start of the year. I think we can match up well with pitchers. I definitely think we got a really, we got some guys who can hit for sure. And it's going to be exciting to see how it all comes together.
Just last week, senior Paul Islas was drafted into the MLS, and as Paul will tell you, it has changed his life in the best kind of way.
My life's taken a big change. You know, I've moved into just a whole new chapter of my life. I haven't graduated from college here yet. I'm still taking classes, but that has to be put on hold right now so that I can go pursue my dream that I've always wanted to do. And I'm getting ready to head off to training camp. I'm going over there to fight for a spot on the roster. I think their training camp's about 2 weeks, and then preseason is all of February. So I think what I read was that the team leaves for Las Vegas, I think in the first week of February, and they go down there and they're going to be playing some friendlies against other MLS teams like the Colorado Rapids and maybe the LA Galaxy. FPU, I'm just going to miss being able to see all my friends and all my teammates. It's fun when you have the stress of classes, throughout the day, and you go out to practice, and then it's all, you forget about it because all your friends are there. Everybody's joking about what happened in class that day, and you're just out there to play. Jaime's been a great influence on me here, both on and off the field. He taught me, tactical awareness, better positioning, just overall what I could do better to score more goals and be more effective in games. Oscar Rodriguez was our strength and conditioning coach, and he said, he made Oscar specifically work with me a little bit more on, okay, look, I need him to be more powerful, a little bit faster. So I think Jaime's taught me really, really good things on the field. Off the field, just coming in contact with Jaime, you can speak to him for 5 minutes and you'll know he's a believer in Christ, and that rubs off on you. So he's taught me to be, a better man, just to whenever you encounter people, just to be polite all the time, and kind of share your faith through personal conversations, even if it's just with your friends. I started playing soccer at 3 years old. I knew that I was going to be a soccer player from the moment I stepped on the field. As I, progressed through my career, I started playing on, traveling teams, and then went to Bullard and, just did really well there. I was originally committed to Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo. Things didn't really work out over there. So the day before training camp was going to start, I called Jaime and said, look, I'm not going there anymore. Can you help me get into FPU? And within 2-3 hours, he called me back and said, you're in. And I came here the next day and was ready to play. I think it's been for the better. But, being here, being in the environment that FPU creates, it fosters that, that kind of thing. It's spiritual is very big here. So being, in that environment kind of rubbed off on me, and I kind of picked up on it as I, went through my years here. Of course, I met a girl here, my girlfriend, who is still my girlfriend today. That's when I actually bought into the whole, believing in Christ thing. I was a little faint until I met her. And then that kind of opened up my eyes and really said, okay, look, here's an extra teammate for me. Like I've stated before to some other people that most players play with 10 other teammates on the field with them, but I play with 11. I got that extra guy who's just kind of patting me on the back saying, it's okay, you missed that shot, just get the next one. My family's pretty excited for me. They're a little bit nervous about me going over there. They don't necessarily want me to leave just yet, but they know this is something I've been chasing my whole entire life. So this can open up, big things for me. And of course, I'm going to come back and take care of my family as well. So they just want me to do my best and hopefully get a spot.
A special thanks to the FPU news team for that great piece. And here with this week's highlights is Brandon Tripp.
The Sunbirds looking to go 10-0 at home and win their 5th straight and 8th game in the last 10, taking on Hawaii Pacific in the first half. Fresno Pacific putting it on the Sea Warriors. Malcolm Griffin getting out in transition and throws it down. Sunbirds up 16-6. Then Anthony Brandt knocks down the tray, and then Zach Call, in his first game back from a concussion, skies for the putback and the foul. He would knock down the free throw and finish the game with 4 points. And if 1 and 1 is good, 2 is better, as Antonio Credit falling down gets it to go. He finished with 15 points and 12 rebounds for Fresno Pacific, who led 36-14 at one point in the first half, but Hawaii Pacific came roaring back. Marco Kukic finds Malte Ziegenhagen for the lay-in and the foul, and then Jelani White hits the big step-back three to give the Sea Warriors a 3-point lead with 1:24 remaining. Then time winding down, and the Sunbirds down by 2. Malcolm Griffin gets the spinning floater to fall. We're all knotted up and headed to OT. In the extra frame, John Taylor takes over. After struggling from the field in regulation, Taylor hit the first 5 points for Fresno Pacific. He finished with 20 points and went 11 of 11 from the charity stripe. And then Griffin with the authoritative dunk to finish it off. He had 20, and the Sunbirds escape with the 94-87 win.
Yeah, it was a gutty win. Just from the fact that there was 2 chances where it looked like we had pretty much lost the game. We get a layup, we're down 1, we get a steal. All of a sudden we go up 1 in regulation before giving up the final 3 ball. And then, we find a way to come back down and tie the game and go into overtime. Then, in overtime, there were some moments where it didn't look too good for us. And, again, I give our guys a lot of credit for finding a way to win. It definitely was not pretty. It was not proficient by any means, but a win it is, and we'll take it.
Well, we knew that we had blew a big lead. Kind of started getting too relaxed after we was up 20. So, they came back, hit us a couple times in the mouth. They was hitting good shots, moving the ball, making us really guard for the whole shot clock. So kind of, trying to wear us out, but, we came away with the win. We a tough team. We go through situations like that every day in practice. So, it was no big deal to us. We just had to pull it out.
We really wanted to stay focused. We knew we had to lock down on defense and take good shots, and we made shots and we took tough shots and we made them. So it really worked out for us.
Yeah, he was big tonight. The first 3 hit. I believe he scored, like I said, the first 5 points of overtime. He was kind of playing on one leg tonight. He was banged up and hurt his knee early in the game, and he did a great job responding. I mean, he made every clutch free throw. He's 11-11 from the line. And, the guy's just a winner. We put ourselves right back in the thick of things, taking care of these 5. It started with Grand Canyon. To me, that was really the turning point of our season, because we played extremely well, and, it was a pretty decisive victory. It wasn't a game like tonight that came down to the end. It was a complete nail-biter. I think that gave our guys a lot of confidence and really gave us momentum, for these final 4 games of the homestand.
Fresno Pacific winners of back-to-back games after starting the season 0-14 in the midst of a turnaround, looking to keep it going against the number 2 team in the conference. And early on, Kiera White in the corner knocks down the 3 from Brianna Busick. She led Fresno Pacific with 21 points on the night. Birds up 6 early. But the Sea Warriors and Melody Ladrito were not caving in. Ladrito knocks down the tough layup inside and then gets another one here on the pass from Susanna Walmsley. Count the basket and the foul. She had 17 first-half points, and Hawaii Pacific was up 13 at the break. HPU led by as many as 16 in the second half, but Fresno Pacific wasn't done. White finds Kayla Clement in the corner, and she knocks it down and strikes a pose on the way back down the court. Sunbirds down 11, then Clement serving up the dish between the defense of the Sea Warriors to Sharday Stevens, who lays it in. FPU up by 1 now, and Sky Savini hits the shot off the glass to reclaim the lead. Then on the other end, Clement with the huge 3 from the same spot gives FPU a 72-70 lead. Hawaii Pacific, with time running down, finds Savini again. She hits the turnaround jumper in the lane, and we're all knotted up. Coming down the other way, Kiera White can't get it to go, but Stevens grabs the board and gets the foul on the way back up. She has a chance to pull off the huge upset against the Sea Warriors. Stevens knocks down the first of 2 free throws. That would be all she needs. She finished with 9 points, and the Sunbirds win their 3rd straight game, 73-72 over Hawaii Pacific.
Well, in practice, when we practice free throws, we always say 1 and 1. So it's game on the line. And so we always state that scenario. So I was kind of like, this is practice. Let's go. So I made the first one. I thought I made the second one, but, I went in and out. So
honestly, our thing was just that we're not going to call a timeout. We're not going to allow them to set up anything. It's a tie ball game, and we want an opportunity to score the basket. And couldn't ask for It was amazing. I mean, obviously we don't draw up that one of our players gets an offensive rebound and gets fouled, but we really felt like that was our best opportunity, was to attack the basket, to stay aggressive, and you never know what's going to happen in a moment like that. I know that I've never been an official, so I don't know how they're trained in that area, but just that they're looking, they're watching, and they're aware, and they're ready to call a foul and not just let it play out was really big for us.
I mean, we just didn't want to give up. I mean, we had nothing to lose at that point, so we went all out and we got the W at the end. So.
Thanks, Brandon. This week was packed full of awards for the Sunbirds. Malcolm Griffin was named FPU's second straight Pac-West Player of the Week after leading the team to 2 vital Pac-West Conference wins. Griffin flirted with a quadruple-double against BYU Hawaii, finishing with 30 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, and 7 steals. After winning 3 events at the Azusa Pacific Indoor Qualifier on Saturday, Malika Tuivanuova was named NCCAA National Track and Field Athlete of the Week. For the first time in FPU history, the men's water polo team received NCAA recognition. Fresno native Glenn Lyon was named NCAA Division II First Team All-American. Lyon finished the 2012 season with 71 goals to lead FPU. Men's and women's swimming defended their home pool as the Sunbirds hosted Biola University for FPU's senior meet. Sasha Ludwig, Alicia Cleveland, Amanda Carter, and Matt Gilbert were the 4 seniors honored on Saturday as the women achieved victory 175-61 and the men 204-61. Last Saturday, the track and field team kicked off their 2013 season with a bang as previous school records were crushed. Malika Tuivanuova broke the record in the triple jump. Eugene Volmer took first in the triple jump. Deidre Wyrick won the 400 meters, while the freshman women also held their own in their first collegiate meet ever. Women's water polo took hold of their first win of the season against Cal State San Bernardino 9-6. Goalie Kelsey Harvey racked up 17 blocks while lead scorer Danny Mortimer brought home 4 goals, with Nia Apodaca, Jen Cobb, and Samantha Clark contributing to the board as well. It's that time of the year, Sunbird fans. There are so many different sporting events going on that you are going to have to choose which FPU team to support. But have no fear. Here's the upcoming schedule so that you can find the right fit for where you will want to sport your orange and blue pride. This Friday, the baseball team will trek up to the Bay to take on San Francisco State at 2 p.m. The men will continue play the following day at 11 a.m. with a doubleheader at San Francisco State. On Friday and Saturday, the beautiful city of Santa Barbara is where the track and field team will compete in the Westmont Sunshine Open. Women's tennis is heading up to Stockton to face the University of the Pacific at 2 p.m. The Sunbirds will then return home the next day to match up against Dominican right here at FPU at 12 p.m. The men's tennis team has their first home match this Saturday when they face off with Westmont at 2:30 p.m. Women's water polo is taking their first travel game of the season up to Monterey on Saturday to test their skills against Santa Clara at 1 p.m. and then Cal State Monterey at 4 p.m. Basketball is hoping to continue their winning streaks this Saturday as they also head up north to Oakland to tip off against Holy Names. The women's game begins at 2 p.m. and the men's start at 4 p.m. Next Tuesday, basketball continues the road trip when they make the long journey to the great state of Utah to face Dixie State. The women play at 4 p.m. and the men's game follows at 6 p.m. Remember, you can stay up to date with all the latest news, scores, and highlights for the Sunbirds at fpuathletics.com and on Twitter at FPUSunbirds. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on Inside Fresno Pacific Athletics.